Epilogue. Luna tapped her hoof on her desk as he read through the daily reports while sipping her morning tea. The trade negotiations with the Griffin Kingdom were going well. The Equestrian Steelworker Union was threatening strikes again. There was an invitation to a noble son's wedding. Greengrass was still missing, but Luna wasn't too concerned. Having his position, wealth, and youth taken from him was enough of a punishment for him, despite what Trixie might think. Still no word on the black book Nightlight used in his fight against Trixie. Some guards recovered it after the fight, only for it to go missing a day later. They needed to find that book. It was an ancient tome filled with the blackest of magic. Who knows what might happen if it fell into the wrong hands? Such a book could never exist. Luna decided to double the effort for its capture. She let out a deep sigh when she read the latest approval rating of the Night Court. It was 8%, the lowest she had ever seen in all the Night Court's history. She supposed it was inevitable. Next to the report was a news clipping of protesters with signs in Manhattan demanding something be done about the court's corruptions. The Night Court had outlived its usefulness. That Luna was sure of, and needed a replacement. It was probably decades, perhaps a century overdue. She'd given too much power to the nobility. It was a necessity at the time, but in this modern era they were outdated. Over the last century, she has been slowly moving the system to one of elected officials, introducing the idea with small positions at first to get ponies more comfortable to the concept. Cece would have to push her timetable up a few decades. No doubt the nobles wouldn't like the idea, but he only had themselves to blame, and the public wanted change. Tracy won't be too thrilled about it either. Well, maybe it would be better this way. It takes some work, but Luna felt confident she could convince her student that an elected position was better than any title of nobility. Luna felt giddy. Revamping the political system of Equestria would be a massive undertaking, but one well worth it. This time she could create bodies of government that would check and balance the others to prevent corruption and imbalance of power. She could create ministries. No, let's not do ministries. Yeah, silly idea. Of course, there would always be some corruption. Greedy and selfish ponies would always exist, but she would limit the amount of power and wealth they would have. Luna scribbled various ideas that had been running through her head over the last few years. It was either going to have 3 or 4 branches. The nobles could still have some position and power, but it would greatly diminish to be sure. These were fake ideas and plans for now. There would be long talks with our political advisors and theorists about this. So, you finally realize that your night court is no longer necessary, a voice said behind Luna, sending a chill down her spine. She knew that voice. Took you long enough. Corona! Luna cried out in shock, getting up and spilling tea all over her papers. How did you get in here? Corona laughed dramatically. Not even a how do you do. You wound me, sister. Don't bother calling the guards. I put a soundproof bubble around the room. Why are you here? Luna demanded. What do you want? And now you're demanding answers, Luna said in mock hurt. It's almost as if you don't want to see your dear big sister. I know you, Corona, Luna said in a quiet voice. You're off to something. You always are. Luna looked around her study. Many of the books were rare to be sure, but none dangerous as far as Luna could remember. There were a few baubles on her desk, but they were just silly items for decoration. What could Corona be up to this time? A fight? No, Luna could sense the tyrant's sense of magic. Sakura's poison was still in effect, draining Corona of her magic. They fought. It would be no contest who would win. Instead of answering, Corona used her magic to pick up the paper Luna had been writing her plans on. Interesting. Corona read it over several times. Several bodies of government with different responsibilities, easily keeping the others in check. I can see the advantages. I must ask Spike to get some books on modern government theory. It could be useful when I rule Equestria again. I'm sure the old ways have gone out of favor, and one must please their subjects, and they're suffering under such a useless, corrupt, decadent government. An absolute sovereignty would be more of my liking, but a ruler must make their little ponies happy. Corona, why are you here? Luna growled. Corona gave a devious smile. Why, to ruin you, of course. Try as you might, monster. Luna kicked her legs in the air in dramatic fashion. I am more than a match for you. True, Nunu, but I have no intention of fighting you. Corona growled with confidence. I have other means to put you down. The posters should be starting right about now. Luna felt her body become rigid, then every limb in her body felt limp like she was a puppet cut from a string. She tried to move, to do anything, but nothing worked, not even her magic. Sloppy. Corona chastised, picking up the teacup of her magic. You didn't even attempt to scan your drink for toxins. Years of peace have made you dull, Lulu. Luna grunted a curse. Why didn't she see this coming? She glared with defiance at Corona. Luna would not play the helpless victim no matter the circumstances. Enough gloating, Luna growled. Just finish me and get it over with. You misunderstand me, little Lulu, Corona said. I want you dead. No, you are family after all. But that doesn't mean I want exact retribution. Luna's blood went cold. What are you planning? No more than you deserve, dear sister. Corona pulled out a green shard out of her satchel of magic. Do you remember the planetary gems? A few months ago, Fisher scientists uncovered an ancient tomb and then found them. They thought they uncovered only a fraction of the gems, and the others were elsewhere. They were wrong. I stole several of them, lest Fisher and her cohorts became too powerful. Of course, Luna said in dawn of realization. You led Fisher to the gems, didn't you? Naturally, Corona said. He proved a useful tool to test their power. A power I wish to capitalize on. This shard was created from a fusion of the Uranus, Saturn, and Neptune gems. Why? Luna tried to control her panic. She had a sneaky suspicion of what Corona had planned. A little experiment, Luna sang in a sing-song voice. We've seen what happens when the gems are combined with technology. But I wonder what would happen if a planetary gem was implanted within a pony. Even I have no idea what will happen. Don't do this, Corona! Luna pleaded. She tried in vain to move her body, but she couldn't let it happen. You labeled me a monster. All forms of joviality gone, replaced with ice and hatred. You taught ponies over the millennia to hate and fear me. You decorated me a fearsome monster that you righteously beat and cowed into submission. You turned my little ponies against me. So I thought I would return the favor. Please, no. Luna had tears in her eyes now. Sister, please! Now I am your sister. Luna stared coldly at Luna, all compassion and mercy gone. Not a creature wearing your sister's face? You're not my sister? That is what you said back on the longest night. You enforced a false name on me to make the delusion stronger. Do you have any idea how much it hurts to hear the hatred on your name on your lips? To be deponized by every turn by your own sister? Luna guilt flowed through Luna like a tsunami. It was true. It pained her so much to see her sister change like that. So she lied to herself and tried to pretend Corona was her sister, driven her mad. But a thing to replace her sister. A real sister wouldn't have done these terrible things. That's what she told herself. Lied to herself to make the truth less painful. Celestia, I'm sorry, Luna sobbed. I was a coward. I didn't mean to hurt you. We're past the point of apologies, Corona said unmoved, her heart as hard as stone. Nor do I wish for your forgiveness. If you believe me to be a beast, I will become one. Corona levitated the shard and stabbed into Luna's heart. There was no blood. The shard fused to Luna's body as it touched her fur. Luna howled in pain. It was like her entire body was being boiled alive. She'd be rising right now if movement was possible. So instead, she sobbed on the ground in too much pain to do anything else. Interesting, Corona tapped her chin. I thought you would mutate into a monster. How disappointing. Still, those shards were created by the blackest of magic. Who could say what effect they have on your mind? Corona seemed to be mulling around something in her mind. In a few moments, he came to a conclusion. Yes, I believe this will do nicely. Corona's horn lit, and a yellow bolt lit Luna in the head. Luna gasped in surprise. What was that? Luna asked, her voice barely above a whisper for the amount of pain she was in. A guess, Corona explained. She looked drained and tired, like she had spent the last few days without sleep. Despite looking she was about to drop right then and there, she smirked. It'd be no fun if you told ponies about that little shard in your heart. This guess prevents you from talking, writing, or even hinting about the shard and the penalty of death. Yes, this will be far more entertaining. Now to be fully aware of your fleeting insanity, unable to do anything you've built around you crumbles to dust. Goodbye, sister, Corona said, approaching the window. Make a good show for me. After that, she was gone. But what's not gone are reviews, because you know I love doing them. Okay, so let's get some of the bad out of the way. I feel as if this fic kind of missed some opportunities when it came to making Nightlight the villain. You've probably already heard my continuous jokes and snark comments, but they're still true. Nightlight seemed to have been Twilight's only parent in this. Even in Lunaverse proper, we saw Velvet. But the way Nightlight was acting, the way he was talking, made it feel like Twilight Velvet was gone and he had long since dismissed Shining from his people. Which I feel like it's a missed opportunity. All these scenes, all these trials, all these comments, how would Shining react to this? How would Shining feel about it? How would Shining react to some of these bits of his dad acting? Although this does lead to a good point that I'll get to. Also, I feel like this story was missing a few points by leaving raindrops out. Heck, I think even Greengrass in an earlier chapter said he had plans for raindrops, but they fell to the side. I almost felt like that was the author saying, I had plans, but I had to come out. Well, this is a shame. Raindrops is my favorite Lunaverse cast member, aside from Trixie, and I really would have loved to have seen her do something. But instead, she was just regulated to get beat, show up, and lose. Even Lyra had more, even though her rivalry with Vinyl kind of dropped like a brick. I also kind of feel bad that Ditzy barely got to do anything, well, except for that red herring that was the freaking changelings. It's like, oh, by the way, the changelings showed up. Moving on. I really was expecting them to use the changelings as a means. I mean, you had Greengrass, which I also have to complain that he kind of faltered too. But then again, I love Machiavellian villains, so I would have loved it if Greengrass had just used a changeling instead and said, oh, he used it. Oh, it was all his fault or something. Just little touches like that. And my other problem, of course, comes from the finale. In that there was no Zord battle. Now, don't get me wrong. My favorite episodes of any Sentai are usually when I see a Zord battle start up. Because that usually means that the episode is going to be full of character moments. As a matter of fact, I love Power Rangers when they focus more on the characters over a Zord fight. And I won't lie, sometimes I do find myself, when the Zord fight starts up, just looking at my phone going, okay, let's move on. Because we've already done the cool part. But even so, there are certain things you kind of expect when you tell me that this is a Power Rangers-esque fic. A Zord battle is one of them. Heck, I think Starfleet would be improved if Micah just got off his bum and sewed off some Zords. And no, Grand Ruler and Celestia fusing into an abomination does not count. But I would have loved some mecha action, not just Lyra's one Zord appearance. I would have loved to have seen two Zords going at it. Planetary 1 and our main Zord. But when you don't have a Zord fight, this starts feeling less like a Power Rangers-esque fic and more like a Kamen Rider story. Which is not a problem. Kamen Rider is my favorite of the big three. Ultraman, love it. Super Sentai's number 2, and then Kamen Rider. I'm currently watching Kamen Rider build and loving every goddamn minute of it. But that ignores a lot of the good points. Like, for instance, I love Charity's little arc with Greengrass. I kind of wish there was more to it. I mean, it's something I'm surprised none of the Night Court had ever tried to in Season 1. I mean, these guys are adults. The Night Courts are adults. Why not wine and dine some of them? Be easier than trying to bribe them. Why not woo and smooze and try to get some of you on the side via a ring or something, Trixie is, of course, perfect as always. Aw, thank you. Trixie loves you too. I love Twilight's little arc. It's a kind of an improvement over the canon one from Lunaverse. And Ditzy was just a big ball of joy. I also gotta admit, there were some surprises. Like the solitaire twist, or even the Pokey twist. I mean, yeah, I'm a little upset that Pokey's dead, but on the other hand, I'm kind of shocked. I was fully expecting the Changelings to be used. But nope, the author tricked me and kept Pokey dead. I kind of applaud that. It's a little maddening, sure, but what character death isn't? I also do love how evil Nightlight was. As I said, the reason why I kind of do like that Shiny wasn't mentioned is that I can almost see Nightlight basically doing parental favoritism and saying, yeah, Shiny's good and all, but what has he done lately? I prefer my daughter, who's far more awesome. And there are some things that I almost want to say are red herrings, but I have to wonder if this is just the author setting things up for future episodes down the line. Well, that was one down. I got a few requests to go back up, but next time after I'm done with those requests, I think I might do a DBC-centric fic. There's a certain one I want to talk about. Well, see you next time.